The conservative House Freedom Caucus selects a new chairman. Pro-life Congressman Andy Biggs, a Republican from Arizona, takes the helm October 1st. And Representative Biggs joins me now from Capitol Hill. Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Wyatt. Good to be with you again.
You become the third chairman of the House Freedom Caucus. What's your top priority as you get ready to step into this leadership role?
Well, I think there's a couple things that we need to focus on. First of all, Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows have done a great job positioning us as the Freedom Caucus as a national player, but also in the Congress itself. So I think we need to do a couple things. We need to leverage the strength that we have in Congress today to continue to push policies that are conservative in nature and follow the Republican Party platform. I think that's number one. Number two is we want to continue to expand our presence and help energize the base so that we can restore the House of Representatives to Republican majority. That way, what we have will be even more meaningful, because sitting in the minority, as successful as we've been, we find incredible obstacles with the other side.
Let me follow up with you on that, because like you mentioned, House Republicans in the minority. How challenging do you think it will be to advance that agenda?
Well, with Republicans in the minority, unless we have something that's fairly benign, we're not going to get bipartisan support on it. So what we end up doing is we have to use the rules and the procedures to try to slow it down so we can actually try to create public synergy against a position. And then we also have to, unfortunately, Wyatt, rely on the Senate. And so the Senate has to actually act as a backstop, because so many of the things that we don't support come through, because we simply don't have the votes in most cases to stop things.
Republicans were able to pull out two victories last night in North Carolina as Dan Bishop and Greg Murphy won their special elections. President Trump supported both candidates. Do you have any takeaway from last night? What were your thoughts?
Well, these are two great conservatives who were elected last night, and I'm looking forward to working with them in D.C., but I will tell you what I think is important is they ran to President Trump. They worked with President Trump. They used President Trump's name, and President Trump supported them. I think that shows that there's still strength in this administration and with President Trump. And the other thing I would tell you is the mainstream media had Dan Bishop all but lost. And what happened is President Trump came in a number of weeks back. Freedom Caucus has been there with him, supporting him. And the result is the mainstream media was saying, well, if he loses, that's an indictment of President Trump and his policies. But now that he's won, they don't give him kudos and say, this shows that the policies of the Trump administration are indeed supported by the American people. And that's really what I think is critical, a great takeaway there. And I think it bodes well for the future and gives some good hope for those of us who are fighting this fight.
All right, we'll obviously be keeping our eye on the work that you're doing in the Freedom Caucus and, of course, with the new House Republicans. Before we let you go, though, Representative, today is September the 11th. So I'd like to get your thoughts as we remember those Americans who lost their lives on this date 18 years ago.
Well, I think every American remembers where they were on that day. I know I do. And we know it really galvanized and united this country in a way that I don't know that I'd seen in my entire life. I don't know how we got so fractured within a short period of time, within actually 18 years, but it would be great if we could unite again, recognize how great this country is, and we have a destiny yet to fulfill. And that's what I take away from my memories here of 9/11.
I'm sure a lot of people agree with you on that sentiment. Congressman Andy Biggs, Republican from Arizona and chairman-elect of the House Freedom Caucus, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Wyatt.